All right, so guys, I'm really excited about today's episode. This is going to be a fun one because I'm able to interact with someone, two people I've known for a very long time. I'm trying to think, how many years have we known? It's been quite a few years.
Wow. I
Yeah.
Yeah, it's
think we
been a
moved
while.
over here in 2013, I think. It's been a
Yeah,
while.
okay, so it's been a while. And so what's interesting is they've had this meteoric rise to success. If you're on TikTok, if you're on Instagram, you've probably seen some of their material. If you haven't, I want to encourage you to check it out. But I really want to, I wanted to do this episode for a couple of reasons. One of them would be to show you who's watching, if you have the aspirations to do content creation, the benefit of really seeing someone who's kind of gone through those steps ahead of you, has had some success, and can give you some inspiration, ways that you can get there. And I'm just naturally curious, so I'm going to ask some questions I'm curious about along with your journey that could perhaps help me as well.
Yeah.
And so I think this will be a great episode for all of us. So again, it's AKA Skits in Giggles,
That's right.
right?
Yeah.
Yes.
Okay. Check them out on Instagram or on TikTok. Let's get into it. I want to first of all tell me what your life was like. What was life like when you first started this journey of doing any kind of content creation?
Oh man, getting heavy. You want to answer this one?
No.
No? Okay, I'll start us off then. Well, we were just making videos here and there. She actually got on TikTok. I wasn't a big fan. I wasn't a big fan. I was like, it just seems like a waste of time, to just be scrolling constantly. But when I was a kid, I used to make videos with my cousins. Like we had a little camcorder, and we'd make videos here and there, and we had a lot of fun. But my parents would never let us put it on YouTube. They just never would. And so as I got older, I still wanted to make videos. I kept making videos here and there, and I had a bunch of different businesses that just never really worked out. But when we got married, she was really into TikTok, and it was kind of blowing up at the time. We got married in 2017. I can't get that year wrong. You get in trouble for
Right.
that.
Yeah, exactly.
You get in trouble for that.
She's right here too.
I know. So we got married, and it was kind of doing really well at that time. And she was really into TikTok, and she showed me all these videos, and she'd be up at like 2 o'clock in the morning laughing at these videos and stuff. I'm like, oh my goodness, this TikTok thing, And we were struggling. Like we were struggling financially. We were struggling, like, just to try to get by, like, paying bills and stuff. And I don't know. And it was after COVID, because I know a lot of people got onto social media like during COVID because they were at their house, had nothing else to do. And so there was a lot of big creators that came up during the COVID time. But after COVID, it was August 1st of 2024. We started doing videos, and I came to Catherine one day and I was like, hey, remember how, we make videos here and there sometimes, but like, what if we took this serious? Like, what if we like made a schedule? What if we like really took our time? We wrote out the stuff and like we tried to make videos every single week. Like, what do you think? Like, what? And she's like, yeah, let's do something like that, And so that's kind of where it started. And, I guess it's not history yet, but I mean, it's in the works for
Well,
sure.
you're
Yeah.
making it. I mean, and for
Yeah.
a lot of folks, where you've reached now is huge. They would love to be at the spot.
Yeah.
I know as creators, when we're growing, we're always going to find people who have done more than us. They're like,
Yeah.
oh, I'm nowhere near as big as that person. So we're always going to have that. But
Yeah.
just keep in mind that where you're at now is way ahead of someone who's just starting out or has been even doing it for a while.
Yeah.
Yeah.
There's been people who've been doing it for years and they're still stuck at a
Mhm.
certain amount of followers or a certain
Right.
amount of content. So you guys have made a lot of strides. Now, for you, Kat, I want to get what's your thoughts when he first came to you with this idea to do this. What was your mindset like? What was life like for you at that moment?
That's a good question.
I thought it was fun because, like how he said, I used to do like TikTok by myself. I think we started too with our house.
Yeah.
And we do like a small,
Yeah, we did a YouTube channel a
skits,
while back.
but
Yeah.
it didn't hit as much. And then he actually did come with me. He's like, hey, instead of doing this, let's actually build something. I'm like, okay, sure. Well, up at the beginning, I was a little shy because I was like, oh, people gonna see and stuff. And he's like, well, you do videos on TikTok. Like, what's
Yeah.
different? I'm like, that's true.
Right.
It's fun to make them. Like, we'll come up a little bit. Like, if I'm doing something like, okay, I have an idea, or he does, it's like,
Yeah.
hey, let's do this. It's fun to do it, actually. I like it. It's a
Okay.
little bit of struggle, but I
Yeah.
like it.
It's stressful sometimes, but I think that we have a lot of fun doing it. We make the best of it,
Okay.
Yeah.
So let me ask you this: in terms of some people don't like the way they look on camera, they don't like the way they sound on camera, all that. Is there any of that you guys had to get over yourselves?
Yes.
You do?
Okay.
Yes, like my voice.
Really?
Is that what
You
you're
had a point?
talking
Yeah,
about?
yeah.
Yes. Right now, I don't. I'm pretty sure. In my head, I'm like, I don't like my voice. I'm pretty sure.
Really?
Yes.
Oh my goodness. Yeah, I
I mean, you
didn't.
have seen videos. You show me like, oh, I look fatter. Like,
Oh
oh
yeah,
my
there's
double
always that.
chin.
Yeah, I've gained a lot of weight since we started. But I think I've done this enough now to where I'm used to how I sound. So it's okay. I know that when you get on camera for the first time, a lot of times, like sometimes people they become like robotic and they like want to put their best foot forward or whatever. And um, I think people want like authenticity. They want to see who you really are, And so we've gotten to the point, I think personally, that excuse me, I feel like that we've gotten to the point personally where you know we can kind of be ourselves, even though I'm playing a character. And a lot of times in these videos, like we can still be ourselves, and we can still have like a level of naturalism that's relatable to the audience. Because sometimes I watch, like commercials, or I watch, whatever, and you're like, oh my goodness, like they should have hired some professionals because it does not look, and then you're so distracted by how bad the acting is that I guess that you kind of miss the entire, plot of the ad or whatever.
Right.
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay. Another question that came up for me was when you first started this idea of us doing some videos,
Mhm.
did you have any idea that the biggest part of your channel was going to be what it is now? Like, did you foresee it to look like that?
Nope.
No.
Okay, so when you guys first said we're going to do videos, in your mind, what kind of videos were you thinking you were going to do?
I mean, they were going to be comedy videos. That was the goal.
Like comedy, clean
Yeah,
videos.
like that was one thing that we said from day one. We were like, we want to make sure that the videos are going to be as funny as we can possibly make them, right? But also clean. And a couple different reasons for that. Like for one, just personally, like we don't like to use certain types of language, and we don't like certain kinds of topics. And so we were like, you know what? Why would we introduce that type of stuff into the content that we create, right? But then also, if you think about it from like a marketing or like a advertisement standpoint, companies are probably more willing to work with a company like our company versus somebody who is more adult related.
Right.
Your audience is way larger when you keep things clean, because we have fans and supporters who are like 8 or 9 years old. And I got a message from a lady on Facebook about a month ago, and she was like, I think I'm your oldest fan. I'm 95 or 96 years old. And I'm like, oh my
Yeah.
goodness. Like,
Wow.
I didn't know you
Okay.
guys knew how to use the
So
internet.
8 to 90 to
Yeah.
95.
Yeah,
That's all.
it's a yeah. And so
That's
I was
all.
like, wow, it's a huge
Yeah.
range, and I think that's attributed to keeping things clean. But yeah, we always wanted to do comedy stuff and just kind of make sure that we keep it clean. Yeah.
Because we sat down, because he did told me, it's like, hey, instead of doing this, let's go full videos. And we sat down, it's like, what kind of videos we're going to do? We have to think about it,
Right.
how it's going to be. And then he's like, I don't know if you noticed, like every social media has like bad words or women showing
Too
more
much.
than it should be. And we're like, well, first of all, we can be funny, we can be clean. And then we were talking about that. And I think there's kids like 10 years old that bought like more March, what is it?
Merchandise. Yeah.
Merch from us. And we're
Right.
like, okay, so now we know it's from how you said from
Yeah, we have a
9 all
huge
the
yeah.
way. So we like it.
That's
Yeah.
Keep
awesome.
it clean.
Yeah.
Mhm.
And maybe someone is leaning towards another kind of content. If that's how they are, that's how they are. But
Yeah.
in your
Sure.
case, you're being authentic to yourself
Yeah.
because this is how you normally talk amongst each other.
Right.
Yes.
Now,
Right.
like, don't get me wrong. If I stub my toe, I'm gonna try my hardest. You know what I mean? But the difference is if we make a video, I'm in full control of what I say.
Yes.
All right.
You know what I
Okay.
mean?
Yeah.
Like I can sit down, we can record, we hit record, we get the lights, get the audio, and I'm recording, and then I have to sit there and edit. And it's like if I make something, I've had plenty of time to edit something out or change it. You know what I'm saying? So it's like it's on me. It's a decision at that point.
Okay.
You know.
Yes.
Yeah.
And so sometimes it's a little, I don't want to say like a pet peeve, but it's a little annoying when people say like you're never going to be successful with making clean content. I've heard people say that, or like you won't get far enough or whatever, or and it's like I think I think that if maybe we would have maybe made more adult style jokes, or maybe had a little bit more like skin visible in some of the videos, maybe we would have grown faster. I don't know, but I think that we're doing just fine. I think that we're doing okay.
Yeah. And so what does that look like for you? Where are you at in terms of followers and viewership? I know you probably know some of your numbers.
Yeah, so I think on Instagram is our biggest platform. We're at 300 and I want to say 64 or 65,000, somewhere
It
around
just
there.
hit 67 today.
Did it?
Mhm.
367. That's
Yeah.
awesome.
And then on Facebook we're at like 150, I think, and TikTok we're at like 120 something, I think. So across all platforms we're over 600K across all platforms.
Awesome.
YouTube I haven't cracked yet. I'm gonna need to get with you afterwards and you maybe give some advice on YouTube because I have
Okay.
no idea on YouTube at all.
That's
Yeah.
awesome.
We have like 2,000
Wow.
followers on YouTube, but yeah, I'm shocked because when we started doing this, you know what I thought? I was like, in my head, I'm thinking we're gonna make some videos, maybe they'll work out, and if they do, I might be able to sell a couple of t-shirts. That's what I thought.
Right.
Mhm.
Maybe I can make an extra $100 a month. You know what I
Right.
mean? Like a little something extra, on the side.
Right.
I never expected it to do as well as it's doing, and then like this community that we've built is like
Yeah.
so crazy.
Because there
yeah.
are some times that he will get so frustrated, like we're not getting likes, we're not getting viewers. Let's just quit, and I'll be like, no, we just started. Like it's gonna take time
Yeah.
to
Right.
get followers and viewers, and then he goes, okay, and then again, it's like, no, it's not getting anything. Let's just stop. I'm like, no, let's just make
Yeah.
something good to cut people's attention.
Yeah.
And then it was the ticket, the video,
Oh no,
the first
well,
video.
we were already going viral before then. We had a couple videos do a couple
Yeah.
million views. Our first viral video was with our duck, which is why he's our logo now, because
Okay.
he was our first viral video, and I was like, I gotta put him as the
I remember that
you know,
video actually.
Yeah.
yeah. It was like so we've always tried to do like relatable things. I feel like that's the ticket. If your video, it doesn't matter if it's comedy or if it's anything else. If your video is relatable,
Okay.
people will resonate with it.
Okay.
There's like the whole hook. The first 3 seconds are the most important. You got to try to grab their attention, right? But it's like the relatability, I think, is the most important thing. And so we always try to be relatable. We weren't super successful at it, but our first video to go viral was, "What do you want to eat?" I don't know. What do you want to eat? And then we're going back and forth. And then I got a little silly, whatever. And I was like, all right, well, I'm going to go get this duck. And so I was like, you see those ducks over there? She's like, yeah. I was like, watch this. And I jump out, I grab the duck, and then we come back and she's like, no, we're not going to eat the duck. And so it was just like it was silly. And honestly, like it wasn't our best performance, whatever, but it was our first viral video. And I was
Right.
like, wow, okay. So why did that happen? I had no idea. I had no idea why it went viral. I had no idea why it worked. I had no idea how to duplicate that or how to, do that again. I had no idea how to do that. And so it just took a long time to like, I have this, she gets so mad at me because like I have this thing where I post a video and then I watch it over and over and over and over and over again after it's posted, and I'm reading the comments as they're coming in because I'm trying to visualize my video that I've spent, and I know what the video's about.
Right,
It's not a new
right.
experience for me. I'm studying it now. And I'm watching the comments come in and I'm reading the comments and I'm watching it again and watching it again and watching it. And I'm like trying to visualize what the viewer is watching. What are they seeing? How are they, are they
Right.
enjoying this video or not? And so I take screenshots of my analytics like every 30 minutes for the first like 5 or 6 hours, and I send those to ChatGPT and I'm like, record these. And like, I get serious about the numbers.
Wow.
Yeah. I get like
Yes.
really, really into the numbers.
Okay, this will be very educational for me and the viewers. So,
Yeah.
when you said relatable earlier,
Mhm.
did you come up with like a list of topics that we're going to cover or things that we think are relatable, or did it just kind of come to you in the moment? And what was your ideation process for coming up what the next video is going to be about?
That's a hard question, actually.
Yeah.
Sometimes like it's difficult, but what are you gonna say?
Oh, I wasn't saying anything.
Oh, okay. All right then. That's the biggest question. The biggest question is like, what is the next video gonna be?
Yeah.
Mhm.
That's
Okay.
the biggest question to me. I ask her that question every week, almost every day.
Okay.
Sometimes ideas come to you just
Out of nowhere.
out of nowhere.
sometimes.
Yeah, sometimes you're watching TV, sometimes you're scrolling and you see somebody do a video and you're like, oh my goodness, they missed it. They were so close. If they would have did this and they would have did that, and like you get inspiration from videos sometimes, you know what I mean?
Putting your own little twist on it. too.
Sure.
Yes.
Yeah.
And then like other times you get in conversations with people and somebody says something, and then that just like sparks an idea and you're like, oh my goodness, this is great. And so like I always try to have I always have my phone on me, but like I always try to have a piece of paper and a pen I have it in my truck when I'm at work, or like if we're out and about and we come up with an idea that just like she's like, write it down because you're gonna forget. Because I've
Right.
done that.
Yeah,
We've
we
had
have yeah,
we've
it has
had ideas that
happened.
we were like, maybe they weren't that great ideas, but like we were like, oh, it's gonna be so great, and then we forget about the idea because we're just talking about it, you know.
How do you organize your ideas? You put like notes in your.
I have so in the studio, I have a whiteboard over there,
Okay.
and I try to write all of them down. I also have a notebook that I write them down on.
On your phone.
Write them on your phone. Yeah.
Yeah.
I have chat logs with ChatGPT. I talk to it like it's a person. I think that's the key.
Yeah.
That's the key to
Yeah.
success. If you talk to ChatGPT like
Yeah.
it's a person, I think it's gonna work for you. But we just try to keep everything logged. You know, try to like
Yeah.
communicate as much as possible with each other. And then when we do come up with an idea, or like sometimes we've gotten ideas where we go on live stream and I'll just be like, hey guys, tonight we're writing video ideas, you know,
Mhm.
help us write our video. And so people will be in the chat and they'll be writing like, you should do a video about
Oh,
this.
that's so
Mhm.
cool.
Yeah. And so people have written an idea. They're like, you know, my character that I play is Theo Papi, right? And they're like, Theo Papi should be a cop, you know, and he's pulling over, you know, your daughter or whatever like that. I'm like, oh, that would be funny. And so like I wrote that down. And then I'm like, yeah, like, do you want credit for this video? Like, you know, I'll take a screenshot of this and I'll write your name down or whatever. So that when we post it, I can just give you like writer's credit or whatever, you know, try to be respectful. Cause like, I know where
Right.
the idea came from.
Right.
That lady was like, no, don't worry about it. It's fine. I don't care. But I try to do that. Like there's been other videos that we've gotten inspiration from other people and I try to tag them or whatever. And,
Right.
you know,
Or sometimes it comes from like our childhood, like
a
how
lot of
I
them come from
grew
our
up.
childhood. Yeah.
Mhm.
Like
A lot
how
of them come
I
from
grew
that.
up, how he grew up. It's like, oh, this is how I grew up, and we should do this and do that. Like I don't know if you saw it, like the brother and sister asking for permission to go out. That's how I grew up with
That was
my
one from,
sisters
I
and my
think,
brothers.
yeah, like a day or
Mm.
so ago. Yeah.
Yeah,
I haven't seen that one yet.
Yeah.
It
It's a new one. It just
yeah,
came out.
came
Yeah.
out. But we get some stuff like that too, like our childhood,
Yeah.
how we grew up.
More
It's
now,
like,
so like
yeah,
with this new character we
Right.
have we try to be as relatable as possible because it's under the umbrella of like Hispanic, right?
Mhm.
Because I do an accent and I'm like
Right.
I'm emulating a mixture of like, you know, my grandfather, my grandmother, my aunt, my uncles, you know what I mean? And like I'm like, it's no one specific person.
Right.
It's just like an umbrella of my family,
Yeah.
basically. And so
Which, by the way,
Sure.
it even though it is labeled as Hispanic, it does cover a lot of other cultures,
Yes.
including mine.
right.
Yes.
You know,
and
growing
we have
up.
a lot of comments of
Yeah.
that. It's like, oh, not only Hispanics, my parents does this too. Or
Right.
like
Yeah.
it goes everywhere.
Well, and the reason why I say like relatability is the most important thing is because of that exact thing, right? It's
Yeah.
like even though we're doing, you know, comedy or whatever like that, and even though it's like Hispanic, I know that everybody's dealing with this stuff.
Right.
But because I'm doing the accent and everything like that, you know, and it's kind of like in this universe that we're kind of
Yes,
creating, like
yes.
I label it a lot of times like Hispanic dad or whatever. But no, like we're fully aware, like it's not a uniquely
Right.
Hispanic thing, but it's
Okay.
a super relatable thing.
Exactly.
You know, and
Yeah.
that's and I'm saying like that's the thing. So if your videos, I did a podcast last week sometime, and I said the same thing. I was like, if you're doing videos and you're really into like, you know, specialty like custom shovels, right? It's like that's
Mhm.
really cool. I'm happy for you. You're probably super knowledgeable on it. You're probably the expert, right?
Right.
Your niche is so small, it's not super relatable, right? So how could you still talk about the topic that you want to, but have a bigger audience? Well, maybe you talk about gardening or excavating. Now that's a little bit bigger
Right,
of an audience, and
exactly.
you can still
Yes.
target those. You know what I'm saying? So the goal is to try to, you know, obviously open up, you know, your content to as wide of an audience as possible.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? And not only just widen it open to as big of an audience as possible, but like make it as relatable as possible.
Mhm.
You know?
Yeah, that
So-
makes sense. Yeah, and you know, one of the first videos I remember, and I don't know if this is the one where you got big, but you were explaining something to Catherine. By the way, in the videos, what's your he's still Poppy. What's your character in the video? You're just
I'm
I think
I'm
she's
just a daughter.
the daughter,
just
the straight
Catherine.
person.
Yeah.
Yeah.
because in comedy you have the comedic person, you have the
Sure.
straight person,
Yeah.
and she kind of has that straight person.
Yeah.
Which brings a lot of comedy to it.
Yeah.
Because she has that straight face and
Yeah. Her
some of
facial expressions are great. Like everybody's like, oh my God, her
Yeah.
face is so funny. Yeah. It's so funny.
But the one that really got me was you were like in the kitchen and you're
Mhm.
explaining something to her, and she was like she's your daughter
Mhm.
and she's doing homework or something
Oh,
like
Oh
that.
yeah.
yeah.
The
And
math
then she
one.
wasn't getting it, and then
Mhm.
you went off into
Yeah.
whatever you want
Pull
to
out
call
the
it.
chancla or whatever.
chancla.
Yeah.
Yeah,
And that
And
comes from real experiences,
Yeah.
you know?
Yeah.
That comes from real, like, yeah.
and she was like,
100%.
I should be mad, but I'm not. I totally understood everything. you said.
Yeah, yeah. So, and like, what's funny is like, when I was talking about like where we get inspiration from. So there was a math homework one, and that math homework one that we did, um, there was a video that was floating around several years ago, and it was a mom. I think I don't know if it was a mom or a grandmother or whatever, but
It was a
she,
mom and a grandmother trying to
and then there
help
was an
the
older son
kid.
too, I think,
Yeah.
right? So there's a young kid and he's doing homework. I think it might have been the grandmother that was helping him with the homework, or maybe the mom. And she's getting frustrated with this kid. This kid's like gonna be 6 years old,
Mm-hmm.
right? And
They're doing
um,
math.
they're doing math, right? And the question was, if Johnny had 3 apples and he ate 2,
That's the
right?
one. Yeah, that's the one I remember.
Right,
Yes.
right.
Yeah.
If he had 3 apples and he ate 2, how many does he have left, right? And then the kid's like 4, right? And she's like, "What are you talking?" And so she's getting frustrated. And at the end of the video, and to me, this is not a skit. Like, I could be wrong. I think it was just like,
I think that was just real.
I think that was
It was
real.
real, really?
To me, like, I
Yeah.
have a pretty good sense of like, they could have
I
fooled
mean,
me.
because that's how I grew up. It's like if I needed help with my
Right.
homework, my mom will be so frustrated that it's
Yeah.
like, you're done.
Oh,
like, you're
yeah.
done.
And so, but they could have fooled us, but I think it was like a real interaction that just got
Right.
kind of, videotaped or whatever, or videotaped. I'm like, recorded, I guess. Yeah.
Back in the days.
They pulled out their VHS, and they were recording, and I was like, man, I relate to this so much, because at the end of the video, she's getting frustrated with the kid, and then she goes, "Go get my belt." And it was like, I started laughing because I was like, oh my goodness, my parents, I'm going to tell them a little bit, but like, my parents were definitely at the table with me, and they were like mad to the point where they wanted to grab a belt. And the funny part is, obviously, is like, that's not going to help them learn. You know what I mean? Like, that's not, you know what I'm saying? And that's the fun, obviously that's the joke, but it's like, what's so funny is that I think so many people can relate to that,
Yeah.
And so, I was like, I remember that video of a long, long time ago. And then, I see every now and again, I see creators try to do their own little thing with it or whatever. And I had never really seen something that I thought that could really be like really fun,
Right.
And so I told Catherine, I was like, I showed her the original video that we found, and I showed it to her, and she's like, "Oh my God, that's so funny." I was like, "Yeah." I was like, "What if we did that?" But like
Yeah.
with the because he didn't have a name at the time. It was just
No,
like,
it
what if we
was-
did that with the
yeah.
accent, And she's like, "Oh yeah, that'd be great." And so we did, and yeah, that video did like
That
almost
kind
4 point something,
It
5
was-
million
yeah, it was
views.
big.
It was a big one, yeah.
One of the things I noticed about your content, and I don't know if it was by design or not, but it seemed like the first part of what I remember is more like relationship, but like just between you as a married couple
Yeah.
doing different things.
That's what we started off
That's
as,
how
yeah.
it started, yeah.
And then it moved into somehow this Theo Boppy thing.
Yeah. It started with the. What was it?
Our first video was where,
The thing that you connect to see.
oh, the
there's-
electrical,
yeah,
yeah.
that's
Well, that
how
was
it
the first.
started.
That was the first Spanglish video.
Yeah.
The first videos that we started off with, the first video that I ever posted was August 1st, 2024. And that video was, it was actually, I heard a stand-up comedian tell this joke. He's like, "I'm kind of dumb, He's like, I was going in for a job interview, and my wife says, break a leg. And I was like, what do you mean break a leg? What if I break my leg? I can't get a job. I'm trying to go get a job, And I was like, that's so funny. I was like, what if we turned it into like a visual skit? Right. And like I said, like I have no shame in saying that I get inspiration from a lot of different places. Like there's so many creators that are like, oh, I'm all originals. Like there's no way, dude. There's no way. Like you run out of ideas. You have to. We have a lot of original ideas, 100% original ideas. But then we have other ideas. It's like that would be so great. What if we put a twist on it? What if we made it our own? What if we turned it into our own thing? And some people will give you comment. They'll comment, man, didn't this person make this video and you just ripped off them? It's like honestly. The internet is full of people doing the same trend
Yes.
I get on TikTok or whatever, and it's like the same trend over and over and over again. It's like you have no idea how much work went into, even though, yes, we were inspired by this video. You have no idea how much work and originality went into this. You know what I mean? So it's like it's still unique. But anyway,
it has your own footprint on it.
And I think that's what even all kinds of entertainment. I mean, think about just movies and TV shows. You think that like CSI. Or like Criminal Minds, you don't think that they took inspiration from one another,
Right.
or other talk shows, or
Right.
late night shows. They all kind of take inspiration from one another, but they make it their own.
Yeah.
So that's why not everybody's doing Alice in Wonderland or whatever. Yellow. What is it? Is it Alice in Wonderland or what is the Yellow Brick Road movie? What is that?
Oh, Wizard of Oz.
Wizard of Oz, because that was like the first colored movie, right? Like that was in whatever. I don't know.
Maybe.
Anyway, it's like that. Like everybody that from where we came from film, like way back, like we where we are now, and it's because of
Yeah.
people who got inspiration to change things, you know.
Well, and
But
also, if you think about a lot of the movies in Hollywood, let's say rom-coms, romantic
sure.
comedies, they pretty much all have a very similar track,
Mhm.
or just a romance
The
movie.
laugh tracks are
Yeah.
identical a lot of times.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So like you have like boy finds girl, boy gets girl, boy loses girl,
Sure.
and boy gets girl at the end, or something
Yeah.
like that.
Yeah.
And you could probably take that scenario and pop it on top of 50 movies.
Yeah.
Yeah.
They would follow the same track. So yeah, I get what you mean about originality. So whenever you made that move, though, was it a conscious move that we're going to do our whole channel this way, or did you end up just doing it and it worked really well? So let's do more of it.
Well, it came up as we didn't have no more ideas to make no more videos.
Well, and I remember we were on our way back from New Orleans. We went to go visit family.
Yeah, we came back from New Orleans and we were just sitting in that because we came back to New Orleans like really early. We came
Yeah.
to Houston around 1 o'clock in the afternoon.
But we were dealing with like financial issues, like serious financial issues. We've been doing these videos for 7-8 months, and I'm like, these videos, we've had a couple of them go viral. We had like 4 or 5 of them, or maybe a couple more, like go viral.
Mm-hmm.
And when I don't know, people has different ideas of what viral. What would you say viral is? The video goes viral.
For me, I think it would be probably 10 or 20x of what you normally do. That could be different for different people.
Okay.
Mhm.
So if you're used to
Is there
doing,
like a hard line number that you would say like anything over this would be maybe viral or not really?
like let's say Mr. Beast, for example.
Mm-hmm.
Mm.
He has what,
I think
like
all of his
400
videos are
million?
viral, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
If he has a video that only does 1 million views, he would be devastated,
Sure.
Yeah.
right? So
Yeah.
whereas if I do 1 million views, I'm doing backflips.
Right.
Right. Right.
So I think it's relative to the person.
Yeah.
Where I'm at right now on YouTube, if I have a video that does over 100,000, I'm pretty happy about that video.
Yeah.
Because my channel's still still in infancy stages, I would say. I think
I don't think so. I think you're doing great.
Okay.
Yeah.
Just under 300,000 subscribers.
Mm-hmm.
But my struggle has been, how do I get those subscribers to keep coming back and watching and doing
Right.
better on retention,
Mhm.
long form content, that sort of thing. So I have some videos, even to this day, I'll do a video, it may only get like 1,000 views,
Mhm.
Yeah.
but then I have a few select videos that I've done well over 100, some like approaching 400,000 or 500,000.
Right.
For me, that's huge.
Mhm.
I would say my hardline number, I would say probably like over 500,000 is what I Googled.
Okay.
Right. But when I ask people that because I'm just curious. Like I know you're in the space of content creation, so I'm just curious what your idea is. I've heard other people say like if it doesn't have like a 1 and then an M, it's not viral. You know, so I'm like I don't know what
Ooh.
people's idea
Yeah.
is. You know, if you Google it. Or I've actually had GPT. It's like, yeah, technically anything over 500,000 would be considered viral, and it also depends on regional reach. You know what I'm saying? Like how
Right.
far your video is actually reaching. So I guess just for the sake of argument, like we've had a couple of videos that have done at this point before we did the Spanglish stuff. We had a couple of videos that do over 1 million, right? I think we had maybe 4 or 5 videos that did over 1 million views.
Mm-hmm.
We weren't monetized at all. Like we only got monetized about maybe. I would say 7 or 8 months ago. Like
Okay.
we barely got monetized. So at the time, she was saying like we're on our way back from New Orleans and we're dealing with so many financial issues. We've had a couple of viral videos. I didn't understand like how to make money on social media.
Okay.
We had the t-shirts for sale. We hadn't sold any t-shirts at all. We had a couple of t-shirts, right? But nobody's buying our t-shirts. It was all linked in the bio and nobody was buying anything. And I remember we were just so frustrated and we're on our way back. And we're talking, it's a 5-hour drive from New Orleans. So I'm like, we're talking like, what's our next video gonna be? What's our, and then we were like, we need to do something. Like we got to do something, this, and we have to make something big.
Right.
Sorry.
Hmm?
I'm just trying. I cut you off. Continue.
Oh. Yeah. So we got home and we're thinking, and then he has this thing. What is it called? The thing that you check for
The multimeter.
Yeah, that.
Mm-hmm.
He goes, we're just gonna wing it. I'm like, okay. He goes, you're gonna ask me like, you're playing with it, and then you ask me like, what's this? And then he explained it. I'm like, what do you mean?
Yeah, and
then from there he started like, oh, that's right, because you're Mexican. So he started doing the accent. From there, from that video, it kind of blew.
That was it.
I remember
up.
that. Yes, I remember
We
that
were
one too.
getting followers after followers,
Yeah.
like seconds, not minutes, but seconds, and that's
Yeah.
how we're like. Adrian's like, that's it.
this is
Right.
what we're doing.
That's what
This
we're
is what we're doing
doing.
now. Yeah. And then if it ever dries up, we're gonna look for the next thing. You know what I'm saying? Like, you know,
Yeah.
but this is what is working. And I think that it's something that can last. I think that this is something that can live for a while.
Yeah.
But that's what I said about putting yourself into a box. If you put yourself in a box and you limit like what type of content you're willing to do, now you're like, well, you know, if it's not working here, now I don't have nothing else to fall back on, you know?
Right.
And so
Right.
I think that you try to find the largest umbrella possible to make your content out of,
Mm-hmm.
and then you stay within that umbrella.
Mm-hmm.
As long as you're, you know, and sometimes things, you know, there might be a couple holes in the umbrella. You're still getting wet over here. It's not really
Right.
working out. And then you have to move over here and you change up, you know? But I remember when we started doing the accent, like, you know, it was
Yeah.
Theo Poppy before it was even Theo Poppy, right?
Yeah.
But that first video, I remember telling her, I'm nervous about doing this.
Right.
I'm nervous about doing this. And she's like, why? I'm like, I feel like people are just ready to like rip you apart.
And he did.
Yeah, a couple of people
We
did.
got it in some negative comment.
Yeah.
Well, the people that didn't know was, it's like, oh, this white boy wants to be Hispanic so
Oh,
bad. And
Yeah.
then she wants to be Mexican, which is Filipino. And we're
Yeah.
like, all right, we probably have to do like TikTok live or Instagram.
She does look a little Filipino. I do look
Yeah.
like a white boy. I get it. You know what I mean? But it's like people were offended.
Yeah.
And some of
Okay.
them were, you know, some of them were a little offended. And I was like, I told her, I was like, my biggest fear is that, you know, we're going to get basically canceled before we even get started.
Oh, right.
You go viral in the wrong way.
Right.
Somebody picks you up and is like, look at this guy. He's, you know, trashing, you know, Hispanic speakers that have an accent or whatever. And I was like, I hope that like a big creator doesn't pick this up and like run with it the
Right.
opposite direction, because I was the state of the world at the time. And I feel like it's changing quite a bit. But like at the time, it was like everybody was just offended by everything. You know, everything was like racist. Everything was, you know, like a misogynist. It was like, oh my goodness. And so I felt like by doing this type of content, we're kind of taking a risk a little bit, you know, but we were at the point where we had to take a risk. Like I
Right.
said, we were driving up from New Orleans and I was like, we got to make something work.
Yeah.
Right.
I don't know how, like I was looking at, like you get your monthly analytics, you know, and I'm like, we did 13 million views and we haven't made $1. I don't understand. Like,
Yeah.
I have no idea like what's going on. Like, but we need to make something work. Like, you know?
Yeah.
And so we were frustrated with a couple different things, bills and just, you know,
Doctor
stuff and everything.
bills,
Yeah. And Catherine's like, well, let's just that idea that you told me about a while back, like, let's try it. And I'm like, I don't know. And she's like, this just like, what's the worst that could happen? Like nothing,
Right.
like nothing else bad. Like, let's just try it. And so I was like,
Yeah.
all right. And we did that video. That video did, you know, close to 4 million views. I still get, you know, messages and comments and stuff like that video all the
likes,
time.
yeah.
So that video's still doing really, really well.
And then from there, he's like, what's the next video going to be like with that accent? I'm like, we have to do like something that it kind of like Hispanic parents.
And
And
I-
then that's when I got the ticket, the speeding ticket. And then
Yeah.
he's like, perfect. That can be one of it. He's like, well, how would your mom react? Because I told him, like, should I tell my mom that I got my first ticket, like my speeding ticket? He goes, what do you think? I'm like, I don't know. I think she's going to go mad. Like, she's going to flip. He goes, that's it. That's going to be our next video. Like, dad
Yeah.
going, like, getting mad because you got a speeding
Right.
ticket.
Yeah.
Right.
And I'm like, okay, we can do that. So I call my mom, and she's like, oh, it's fine, daughter. Everybody
Like,
gets a
that's not what I was
speeding
expecting.
ticket. But we still went for the
Yeah.
for that video, and that still went. It kind of blew up.
That one
as
did
well.
that one did great
Yeah.
too. Yeah, we've had
Yeah.
our first couple Hispanic videos that we ever did just really, really, really just did incredible, right? I remember in my head, I remember it because we started with 200 followers, right? Like we had literally 200 followers. We had like friends and family, and like I
Yeah.
had some
Right.
coworkers follow. You know what I'm saying? And it was my personal Instagram that we started doing these videos on. And I remember when we started making videos, you know, our very first video that we did that we ever posted August 1st of 2024 was that one that I was telling you about that the comedian had a joke
Oh,
about,
the
and we
break the
turned it into
leg.
we turned it into a video. That video got like 150 views.
Yeah, and we went
You know?
crazy.
And we were like, wow, okay,
Wow,
people are actually
100,
liking this
yeah.
video, you know? And,
Right.
and then in my head, I'm thinking, I have 200 followers. That's like, dude, that's like almost everybody watched our video,
Yeah.
dude. Like everybody that followed, you know, and I didn't understand how it worked. And so I was like,
Right.
this is a win. I didn't understand how people get viral videos. And so we just kept going. And in my head, I was like, at the time, I was like, if we get to 10,000 followers, dude, if we get to 10,000,
I remember you saying 10,000
followers,
earlier. Yeah, I remember you saying that.
I was like,
on
if
your
we
things.
get to 10,000 followers, I'm like, we've made it. I
Yeah.
mean, have you ever been somewhere with 10,000 people? I've been to concerts and they only have 10,000 people. You know what I'm saying? Like I've been to football places, they get 6,000. Like that's a lot.
Yeah.
And so I don't know why, but in my head I thought that was like that was going to be the ticket. Like as soon as you get that big of a number, obviously just everything's going to start working and people are just going to start following you just because you're big. That doesn't work like that, you know? And so we just kept going. We were at almost the 1 year mark before we did that Spanglish video.
Yeah.
We were about I want to say 10 months in. So we're 2 months away, roughly, I think. And my memory could be a little off, but like about 2 months away from being the 1 year mark. And we were at 8,000 followers. 8,000 followers. And I was like, we're so close to this 10,000 thing. That was the big number in my head.
Right.
We post this video, our first Spanglish video. We went from 8,000 followers to like 37,000 followers in 2 days.
Yeah.
Wow.
From 8,000 to 30, we didn't even stop at 10,000. We just kept going, right? And then it never stopped. It just kept going. It kept going.
Still kept going.
It still goes every day. Every day, on average, I mean, every day we're getting close to 1,000 followers a day on Instagram alone.
So a few lessons I'm getting from this that maybe folks who are watching can take from this is that, number one, you had a good partnership between each other, because when you were down a little bit, she picked you up and that sort of thing. You came up with the idea originally. She was all for it. I think that having a partner that you can work with, that's supportive, I think has definitely had a good effect.
That's the biggest thing, I think.
And then another thing I'm also hearing is that you had the idea to do this X a certain way. You want to do funny skits that were relatable, but you were doing the relationship ones, and they did okay, right? They did all right. They were you, and you were learning that through the whole process.
Yeah.
And then you stumbled in this, gets almost close to the time we were about to quit.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, we were almost quitting 2 or 3 different times. But yeah, I think that was probably the biggest time we were about to quit.
Yeah, because we were actually doing that video, and he goes, I don't feel like it's going to do very well. It's like, I don't know about this. Like, I can see the comments. It's like going to be negative.
They're going to hate us.
And I'm like, just post it and see what happens. If it doesn't go well, just delete it. We'll come up with another video. Like,
and I remember I was editing. This is a big thing too. Is like when I was editing the video, that first video, I'm editing the video and I noticed, like, I mean, I knew this when we recorded, but like at the end of the video, she breaks character and she starts laughing.
Oh yeah.
Oh yes, I remember that.
She starts to laugh, right? And I remember I'm editing the video, and I just had like my little laptop at the time that I was editing on.
He was
and
in
then
the bed editing it.
I was at the house, and I'm like, look at the video, whatever like that. And she's like,
But you were not done yet.
I wasn't done yet, but
done.
I had cut out the laugh part. I'd cut it off because I was like, the video's over, that's it. You know, like, that's the blooper. Like nobody wants to see that. Like that's not gonna be, you know. And so I cut it off. And then Catherine's like, why'd you cut off the part where we were laughing, you know? And I was like, oh, because it's not a part of the video. It's like I think it could be distracting, or it could be like, you know, like maybe it wouldn't work. I don't know. And she's like, I think that's funny. I think that the video is pretty funny, but I think that like us both laughing at the joke that we thought it was so funny, like I think that works. And I was like, really? And she's like, yeah.
Yeah, because people love to see bloopers. Like I like watching other like movies at the end of them. I don't know if you have seen like certain movies.
Oh yeah, absolutely.
They have
the
like
bloopers,
the bloopers, and I started laughing. I told them like, just leave it. People love bloopers. Like
And
they want to see that.
I didn't
want to
do it. I didn't want to do it. And she's like, I'm telling you, just do it. I'm like, whatever, okay. And I did. We posted, the video went crazy. A bunch of comments. So you start to like when your videos go crazy, like you'll start to see like some patterns develop in the comment section, right?
Right.
And like that's where we got some of the merch, right? Like so like the what you having and stuff like that. Like that was a comment because I said that in a video. I wasn't even trying to make merch around that. I just said that in a video, and somebody was like, "What you having?" And it got like 10,000 likes because that's what I said in the video. And I was like, "Oh my goodness!" Like, we probably need to put this on a T-shirt, you know?
Right.
But one of the comments that we kept getting in that first video was, I love that you guys left in the laughed, that y'all left in the like y'all broke care. I love that, whatever. And it was just, everybody was saying that. And I was like, oh my goodness. I was like, okay. And then my goal became, I'm going to try and make her break character, you know? And I was like, that's going to be the thing that I'm going to try and do. Like, I'm going to try and say something. And what we would do is we'd come up with an idea, but I would never tell her what I was going to say. I was just going to say, listen, this is the video idea. I'm going to say something that relates to this, and I'll try to be as vague as possible.
Right.
When you hear me say something like this, I want you to respond roughly like this, you know? And she's like, okay. I was like, and then I'm going to say this. And when I'm done saying this, I want you to kind of respond like this. And that's the video. And she's like, all right. I was like, but I'm not going to tell you what I'm actually going to say. I'm just going to say it. And she's like, okay. And so we do the video, and my goal is like, I gotta make her laugh. If I can make her laugh, like if she thinks it's funny, maybe everybody else will think it's funny.
Yes.
Mhm.
The last video worked where she broke character or whatever at the end. I was like, maybe if I can make that happen, this will, and so it was an
Right.
intentional thing to try to make her laugh. But I told her, I was like, one thing that I never want to do is I never want to force the laugh. I never want to like fake a
Okay.
laugh. I never want to fake it because I think people are smart. They know.
Mm-hmm.
Your audience really knows when something is authentic and when it's not. You know what I mean?
Right.
And I've been tempted to be like, I'm gonna just like, just laugh and I'll record you. And she's like, no. And I'm like, yeah, you're right. That's not good. That's a terrible idea. And I started thinking about it. I was like, no, they're smart enough. These people are not dumb.
Yeah.
They know like what's authentic and what's not.
Right.
You know what I mean? And I was like, this is something that we're gonna have to, if it happens, it happens. Great. If it doesn't, it doesn't. But that was surprisingly something that just like blew up.
It blew up. And then the homework one is when he bit because we took like 3 takes on that one.
You did, yeah.
We took 3 takes.
And I didn't bite
biting
the
onions.
No, I
No,
didn't bite the
he
end
didn't-
3
he didn't-
times.
We
That
didn't
was
know. I didn't know he was gonna do that. That's the thing. Because we're like taking 3 takes, and I'm like, okay, let's do it again. And I was already getting like frustrated because I was
Yeah.
like, I'm done.
Katherine doesn't like. Listen, Katherine likes the videos, but she doesn't like making the video.
Like the finished product.
Not all the time. No,
Yeah.
she does. She likes making it, but like sometimes it's frustrating. Sometimes,
Yeah.
Yeah.
Because like you saw when we're setting up the podcast, like it takes time and everything.
Yeah.
And she's sitting there and she's like, "Oh my god, when am I gonna start making this video?"
Yeah.
But yeah,
in that video, is like, okay, Adrian's like, okay, the last one is this is going to be it. I'm like, okay, that's fine. So he does it, and then he bites the onion, and I'm holding. He can like.
if you
it's
watch the
kinda-
video,
it's kind of like. I regret it because we couldn't see like my face if the camera was on my face.
she was trying to like pull
I
her.
was
She
holding
was
my
trying to like
laugh.
put her face on camera and like kind of
Yeah,
whatever.
I was
But-
holding my laugh, and I was like literally crying because I wanted to laugh so hard, but I couldn't.
Yeah,
And then I started laughing, and then he started laughing, and then
it just made it more fun. I think
Yeah.
people.
That was
I
a
think-
fun video.
I think
like
that
one.
people really like to see authenticity for one. They like to see relatability, and they want to see people be themselves.
Yeah.
You know what I
Yeah.
mean? And because they can relate to
Yeah.
being in a situation, that for one, your parent getting mad at you for not knowing how to do your homework is relatable. But then also, I was like, most people have been in a situation like where you're trying not to laugh and you're holding it. You know what I'm saying? So like, I think
Mhm.
it's multi-layered. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
But there's one constant with all of these videos is like relatability. That's like the main thing.
Yeah.
If people can relate to it, that's usually what works.
yeah,
So, another lesson I got from what you guys explained is you listened to something that she said
Mhm.
that you really didn't want to do because it broke every, I guess, conventional thought
Mhm.
that I don't want to include this in the video because it's breaking.
You mean
breaking
like leaving the
video.
laugh in?
Yeah,
Yeah.
but you still did it anyway.
hmm
I think there's a lesson there. There might be something that you've got a partner you're working with. They're giving you
Yeah.
a suggestion. You're kind of bucking it a little bit because it's kind of against what you thought, but
Right.
you did it anyway. Because at the end of the day, if for some reason it bombs, you're just going to make another video. Everybody's going to
Right.
forget about it.
right.
Right.
It's not the end of the world, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
But you tried it and look at the benefits. That's awesome.
Yeah.
Yeah. Like I think like the first videos, me and him we talk like, hey dude, or hey
You would say bro, and I
bro,
would say
yeah,
dude
hey
or
bro,
whatever
or
like that.
hey dude, and he'll
Yeah.
do the same thing. And some of the comments like, she's not your bro, she's
Yeah,
your
be
wife. It's
respectful.
like,
yeah, that's your wife. Don't
it's-
call her bro. Don't call her dude.
if
And I'm
you
like,
don't-
we're friends. Like we're
Like, we're
we're
literally
married,
best
but we're like
friends.
actually friends. Like we're actually like I like hanging out with her.
yeah,
She's a little crazy, but I deal with it. But like we're actually like we have a really great relationship. We were friends before we got married, but we just get along really well. Not all the time. Sometimes
Sometimes
she's got
it's-
issues. I mean, like we'll
you
talk
got
about it later. But
issues.
like,
Every couple has
I
that.
mean, yeah. But
But
we get along really well, and so like we've always tried to say we don't ever try to like, I guess, put on like a facade or like a I don't know, like a show. We
Mm-hmm.
try to be ourselves as much as possible because the thing is when you're playing a role, right? You can say the lines, maybe you
Mhm.
can do the accent or whatever, but if you're a completely different person, you know what I'm saying? Like, and you're trying to portray yourself at the same time, it's like it's kind of difficult. Like you're gonna get
Right.
lost somewhere. Like you're gonna slip it. It's like just be yourself. I know it sounds
Yeah.
cliche, but it's like it's just like just be when you're making content, like be who you are. It sounds cheesy, it really does, but it's like you are the only person that has your unique point of view and your unique perspective
Yes.
on something.
Right.
And you can really present that in a way that may resonate with a lot of people, you know? And if you're interested in something, there's gonna be other people out there that are interested in it too. And your
Yeah.
perspective, your way of looking at things is super, super unique. You don't have to try to like change who you are or change your idea to try to make, people like you. It's like,
Right.
there's gonna be people that don't like you. There's people that don't like us,
Yeah.
you know? And I'm like, I don't know why they don't like us. Like, we don't curse. We don't say anything bad. Like, we don't have like, it's like, why don't they like us? I don't know. But it's like, it doesn't matter. Like, to me, it's like, it is what it is, you know?
No matter what you do,
Right.
somebody's not gonna like you.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah, you can't make everybody like you. What's one of the videos that you've done that you didn't think was done very well? You didn't think it was a good job, but it ended up being great.
We had
in
so many
terms of,
like that.
They just beyond your imagination on how big the video was.
Do you have anything in your head or no? I got a couple in my head that you don't have anything right now.
Mm-mm.
There's a couple of videos that come to mind. Sometimes I'll say this. I have a couple of videos that are my favorite videos, even to this day.
Mhm.
This is before we were doing the Spanglish videos. Some of these videos took us like 15 or 16 hours
Oh yeah.
for like a
Mhm.
2-minute long video or a 3-minute long 16 hours, right? For a lot of different
Wow.
reasons. Yeah. For a lot of different reasons. For one, because I'm new at all of this, camera stuff, whatever. But also take after take after take. We did a video, and I think it's like a 3-minute long video. And it was supposed to be like a YouTube video where it's supposed to be like long, long form, and it's supposed to be like horizontal or whatever. And my buddy, he's in a lot of the videos. He's not recording them with us right now. He's taking a break right now, but he was in a lot of the videos with us, and he's like, we sat down, we came up with this really, really great idea. And it was like not about Spanglish or anything. It was just like, you have a friend who could be like your worst enemy, basically. Like, even though you guys are friends, he's always like, causing issues or causing problems and like always getting into something, And so that was like the premise of the video. And so that video was only 3 minutes long. It took us so long to do. There was a couple little pieces that we had to stitch together. Like, we had one day, after work where I'm like, okay, stand in front of the car. I'm going to drive super, super slow. I want you to like actually getting hit. I want you to grab onto the hood. And then like, we're going to keep going forward. We're going to stop. And then you're going to fall off the car. And then I'm going to speed it up. So that way it looks like it's real speed or whatever,
Oh, got it. Okay.
And like
Okay.
just trying to do like, because I don't know how to do this stuff.
Right.
I don't know if there's probably a better way of doing this, like of what I'm trying to explain, but like stuff like that. And then we're recording on iPhones, right? So like I have an iPhone 13. He's got an iPhone maybe 14 or whatever. And we got two tripods that are $15 Amazon tripods. I don't even think we had microphones at the time. I think that we were just going
with the phone.
I think they were just going with the phone.
Yeah.
And I was like, all right, put cinematic to make it look good, right? On the iPhone, right? And so like part of your face is like in focus and like your hair is like blurred out with it, So I'm like, okay, do that. And then we had a monologue that was supposed to run for the entire length of the video for the entire 3 minutes. And so we had to do that real time. We couldn't cut. So we had to go. We had physically written out. And I still do this. I still highly recommend it. If people want to make videos about anything, it doesn't matter if it's comedy or anything else. Write your ideas down and write them out, because as you're writing, this crazy thing is going to happen where your brain starts to come up with new ideas while you're writing. I don't know. I can't explain it, but it just really, really works.
That's great advice.
When you're writing, yeah, it's weird. It's like when you put pen to paper, or even you can text it out or whatever like that. Or even like sometimes I do ChatGPT, where I'm just talking into ChatGPT, and then, I just keep records of everything. But like while you're physically coming up with something, not just you thought about it or whatever, because your memory is not as good as you think it is.
Right.
If you write something down, as you're writing it, your hand takes longer than your brain does. So as you're still writing this, your brain is already on 5 other things, and your brain is like, oh, we could do this, we could do that. And you come up with more things. So we wrote this idea. That on its own, I include into the time of that 16 hours, because it took us like 3 hours to write this idea. We were back and forth. Like we stayed late because like we work at the same company, but like we get off at the same time. So we get off and then we're in the parking lot and it gets dark and we're still writing this idea because we're both into this idea. Like we're still writing this idea, and Catherine's like, where are you at? I'm like, we're coming up with an idea. And she's like, what? I'm like, we have a good idea, and it took us so long to write it out. I thought it was so, so perfect. I thought it was so good. I was so proud of this video.
Mm-hmm.
We shoot, one scene here. We had another scene where I put diesel in his car instead of gas. I'm trying to be a nice guy and help him out, but I'm actually sabotaging him, And then like the finale is he's like, "You're marrying my mom," and I'm like, "What are you talking about? I'm not married. I'm not." What does he say? He goes, "You asked my mom to marry. You proposed to my mom." He goes, "You proposed to my mom." I was like, "No, I didn't. I didn't propose to your mom. Like, how do you get that wrong? Like, how do you get that? You know?" He's like, "Explain." I'm like, "Well, I was at your house. I need to tie my shoe. I bent down. I saw something shiny. I pick it up. It's a ring. I look up. There's your mom. She thinks I'm proposing. There you go." He goes, "So you're not going to marry my mom?" He goes, "What do you want me to do? You want to break her heart? You know, like, of course I'm going to marry your mom." You know, and it was just like, it was a silly idea, but it was so much fun to make. And we had to shoot on so many different spots. And I don't know much about it. It took us so long.
Right.
That video, in my mind, should be our biggest video because of how much work went into it.
Okay, work went into it.
You know, and this is a long answer for your question. We've had other videos that were in the car and we're like, "What do you think about doing this?" And she's like, "Oh, that'd be good. Maybe say this, maybe say that." Like, okay, we put the phones up, we record. And she's like, "Maybe next time say this." I'm like, yeah. And it's like, "And then your part, change it to this." And it's like, "Okay, cool. 10 minutes, 3 million views."
Yeah.
And so it's like, I'm still struggling with that. It's like, I'm still struggling with like, what is the happy medium?
Right.
How much work should you throw into a video, into a project, if the results are not going to come out of it? You know what I mean? If it's not going to, you know, and we're just now getting back to the point, I think personally, where, you know, we're starting to use cameras, like actual cameras, not just phones. You know, we're starting to use like, you know, more professional lighting, and we're starting to use like, you know, better microphones and stuff like that. You don't have to get started at all.
Right.
I think that we're a living testament of that. But we're starting to get to the point where I feel like our videos are doing really good, but they're still shot on an iPhone. And sometimes we're in the middle of recording and I get a phone call. You know what I mean? And like, and sometimes the Bluetooth is not great, and there's a little bit of static. You know what I'm saying? Like, there's some technical things there. And then my iPhone is always out of storage, right? And so it's like, we need to move to these cameras. We move to the cameras. I don't know how to use the cameras. I have to educate myself on how to use the cameras. You know, like, what is ISO? I don't know. You know, it's like, I have no idea what any of this stuff is.
Right.
So we have to educate ourselves. And then now it's like the production value is coming back a little bit into these next ones. But at this point, it seems like it's paying off because our last like 3 or 4 videos have done extremely well.
Yeah.
And those were done, you know, with I wouldn't say professional equipment, but like not an iPhone. You know what I mean?
Yeah. I think kind of goes to that your audience, they kind of want to grow with you. They want to see you mature in your content.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So like if you, I don't know, you guys watch Star Wars? You like Star
Yeah.
Wars?
Yeah.
Okay. So, I mean, I grew up watching the original ones, and the first Star Wars with Luke Skywalker, you know, he's at this one state at the beginning of the movie where he doesn't know he's supposed to be this Luke Skywalker guy, and he's just getting trained. Obi-Wan Kenobi's training and everything. But you're through the movie, you're seeing him grow through that process.
Yeah.
You don't expect the end of the movie to be just exactly like he was when the movie started.
Right.
So when they're watching you guys throughout the years, they're growing with you, and they're seeing you grow in your content. Yeah, you start off on an iPhone; it was still good content, but now it's even better because now you're doing all this other stuff.
Yeah,
I
and
kind
then
of think of it that way.
And then also, I think that like I'm so obsessed about the video production side of things, right? Like, I didn't know how to edit anything at all. Now editing is like my favorite thing to do because because like, and I think a lot of people don't like editing, but like I like to edit because it's the final product. You get to see it come to life.
Yeah.
I have a couple. Everything about making videos is fun for me, but like whenever we get into, if we were ever to sit down and like try to come up with a video together, in the beginning it's gonna be a little difficult. It's kind of like any kind of conversation or like podcast or whatever. It's like in the beginning it's like a little, but then you get into this rhythm, and then when you're writing this video, it goes back and forth, and you guys are just kind of like vibing off of one another. You know, me and Katherine are going back and forth in this idea, and it's just like I get this like this almost like feeling of like, oh, this is good, like, oh, and I love the process of coming up with the idea. The part that I like the least at this point is actually setting up the cameras and like making sure all of it, because I'm not educated in it enough. And I'm still learning, but it's like that's the part that I need help with, and I'm still learning. And I'm watching YouTube videos, and I'm like asking ChatGPT like, what does ISO mean? And you know, it's like trying to explain to me, you know. And so I'm learning all that kind of stuff, and you know, but then actually acting in the skits, so much fun.
Yeah,
I love doing that, you know. And then when the videos, I love directing it also, because like you know, you have to understand, like when we're doing this, it's just me and her. So she's a writer, she's an actor, you know, she doesn't edit. I wish she would edit a little bit. You know, she doesn't edit. But you know, she directs a little bit, you know, she gives me advice, whatever. But we all wear different hats. Like I write the videos, I'm the camera person, I'm the director, I'm the sound guy, You know what I'm saying? I'm making sure that,
You're
that
doing
that's
well.
good. You know, I'm
You're doing
making,
very good.
I have to do everything. And so I have to learn a little bit of everything. I can't really master the camera all in one take. I can't master the audio all in one take. I'm like, what's the best microphone? And, you get 6 different answers, and I'm like,
Yeah.
what's the best one that I can afford? It's like, okay, it's like, go with that one for now. And then a little later on, you get a better one,
Right.
but you wear all these different hats, and I've learned to love the process along the way. And I think that that's the most important part. If
Yeah.
you are doing anything, I think that if you love the outcome more than you love the process, maybe a problem. Think about it, right?
It's true.
If you love to run, you may not be the fastest guy. It's like what is it, tortoise and the hare.
Tortoise and the hare, yeah,
It's like
yeah.
if you love to run, right? And this hare is super fast. He's talented. He's just fast all the time, But you love it and you're determined and you will not give up. There's an expression I've heard a lot of times. It's like obsession beats talent every time. And I didn't understand what that meant until we started to become successful with this, because I really did become obsessed with these videos. I'm like, I'm trying to perfect this. I'm trying to make this as good as possible. You can't have a perfect video, obviously, but like, what's the best that I can do? And then you fall in love with that process, and that process becomes like all consuming, where you're like, all I think about is making the videos.
Right.
I have dreams in the middle. You can ask Catherine. I dream about video
Really?
ideas. Yes.
Yes, he wakes me up.
I wake
I have
up,
an idea. I'm
I
like,
have a notebook by my bed. I'm like, I'll write it down, or I'll grab my phone, and I'm like, and she's like, what are you doing? It's 3 o'clock in the morning. I was like, I have an idea for a video, and I think that.
Well, you don't want to go back to sleep because you don't want to lose it.
Right.
Yeah.
Absolutely not.
no.
Absolutely not. I don't
It may
lose
not
the
ever
dream.
come back.
So this
It
is
may
exciting
not
for
ever
me.
come back again.
It did happen one time. He was so mad the next day. He goes, I'm so mad. I'm like,
Yeah.
of what? You just woke up. He goes, well, I was having a dream and a skit idea, and then I can't remember.
Yeah.
I can't remember. I was dreaming about it, and I'm so mad. I did not wake up. I was like, oh, I'll remember the next day. He can't remember.
Yeah.
And I'm like, think hard. Like, what would your dream about? Just
No idea.
think. He
Right.
couldn't
'Cause
remember.
I can't remember anything, That's how
happens.
dreams work,
It
Wish I had that
happens.
Inception thing. Maybe go back but yeah, I think that having that that love and that passion, that obsession for like the process.
Yeah.
That's
gold.
to me is like, that's like,
Yeah.
anytime I've heard anybody successful speak about something, whether it be like a business that they're working on or anything, it's like, they always say this, like, you have to love, it's like, you have to love what you're doing. And then when people say, if your job is something that you love, you'll never work a day in your life. It's like, yeah, but the order is out of place there. They've already been loving, they love what they do, and it turned into their job.
Right.
It's like, I love playing video games. I'm gonna play video games. Like, that could work. People do become successful playing video games. They make a lot of money, and that becomes like their job or whatever. But it's like, the average person, it'd be really, really hard to become like a competitive video game player. You know what I'm saying? Like,
You'd have to be obsessed.
you have,
like
to be,
you said
you
earlier.
have to be at that level to where I think, but like,
And when you're obsessed, he's obsessed, like making videos, coming up with videos, like going back to the video that he already edited. Like, oh, we should have done this
yeah.
instead
Right.
of this. I'm like, well, it's a little too late now. You already posted.
Like I said, the
it.
video gets posted, and I'm sitting there and I'm watching
Yeah.
over and over and over again, over and over. And she's like, you've seen it 30 times already.
I'm pretty sure all the views is from you.
Why? Yeah, like, that's why our views are so high. I'm like, it doesn't actually, I looked it up. It doesn't count. My views don't count. Okay. And she's like, why are you watching over and over again? I'm like, I'm studying.
Yeah.
I'm watching the video. I'm reading the comments come through. I'm trying to analyze, and I'm like, how was my first 3 seconds? That's your hook. Your hook is your first 3 seconds. Like, how strong is my hook? Is it working? How are the
Right.
numbers looking? How many, what is my view to like ratio? Like, like if I divide my likes by my views, like, what does that number come out to?
Right.
And and nobody's taught me this. I've just done this by myself. So I'm like, to me, through my time doing this or whatever, is like, if you post a video and your view to like ratio is under 10, it's a good video. It's a good video. If your view to like ratio is over 10, it's like, you want to try to get that number as low as possible, which basically means like if your view to like ratio is like 5 or 7, that's a viral video. Like, almost guaranteed, it's a viral video. It's every 5 people that watch your video, they're liking it. Every 5, that's a crazy, crazy ratio, Same thing when it comes to like, shares. In shares, people don't know that shares is your biggest propeller of a video to go viral, because your share, that when you get a lot of shares, that's what keeps your video alive.
Yeah.
The platform is going to push your video out. They do test phases. They're going to do like, when I remember when we first started, we were getting like, a maximum of like potentially 200 to 400 views just to start out. You know what I'm saying? Like that was kind of like the entry level, and sometimes it's less, sometimes like 50 views. You know, but like they test you, they put you in a test pool, and they just kind of, and they don't know anything about you, so sometimes it takes a while because the algorithm has to learn what style of content you are, and then it's also learning your viewers. It's looking at the data from your viewers, and it's looking at like, who are they? What is the other kind of content that they normally like? Does this fall into the same category of the pool that these people are actually like, you know? And it's trying to collect data. So sometimes people get upset and they get frustrated because right away it doesn't work out. You know, it takes months, it takes a year. Sometimes it takes more to become successful. But it's analyzing all that stuff, and in my head I'm thinking, if the computer is analyzing all that stuff and it's trying to figure it out, that means that it's pretty complicated, which means that I need to try to figure this thing out too. You know what I mean? I need to study this thing, you know, and I've never been good in school. I didn't even go to high school, you know, like I went to the 8th grade and that was it. And I promised myself I was going to get the GED, and I guess I'm a liar. I never got it, you know, but like I never finished high school at all. And I was like, I'm not good at school. I'm not good at studying, but I'm going to study this.
I did not know that.
I'm going to study. Yeah. I'm going to study this. I'm going to study this. This is going to be something that I'm going to become successful at, you know, 100%.
There you are. You've done it. One of the things when you said about the shares, it reminded me of when they were interviewing the head of Instagram, and he said the reason why they look at shares so heavily, and not just the repost share, but sharing with individual persons, is he says that brings people back to the platform.
Yeah.
Yep.
Because they get a notification. Well,
it keeps your video alive.
Yeah, so if Adrian shared it, so it must be pretty important. So they're hitting that button, they're going right back on the platform.
Yeah.
Like, wait, this is getting people back on.
And you have to understand, like, Instagram, Facebook, YouTube, TikTok, they want people to watch your video. They're not against you. People sometimes are like, oh, the algorithm is not. It's like, no. Hold on. The algorithm is not against you. If anything, the algorithm is trying to help you. Trust me, because the algorithm works for Meta, which is Instagram and Facebook, you know, like, or it's working for YouTube and it's working for TikTok. They want you to be here.
Yeah.
Your video's not good. Right? And it's like, you have to be real with yourself. And I critique my videos. Like, when I get comments and people are like, oh, this video is dumb or whatever, it's like, oh, dude, yeah, I know. Trust me. I agree. I agree with you. Like, nobody can ever comment anything that I haven't probably said to myself, like, about my own content, because I'm so hard on myself.
Right.
And I'm not trying to like be mean to myself or mean to like what we're doing, but it's like, I want to get better, and I'm trying to think about it through like worst case scenario, or like through the lens of like a super like staunch critic, you know, like what is the negatives of this video? What is, you know, and you can't get too wrapped up in that, because then that'll make you go crazy too. Like, you get one negative comment and there's like, you know, you get like, you know, 20,000 comments that are all positive, and then you get like a handful that are negative, and you're focusing on the negative ones. We've done that.
Yeah.
We've done that. I made a whole video about it.
You did a whole video about it. You did a live on one person who said something.
Yeah, I did. And I remember afterwards, I was like, I shouldn't have did that. I said, what I should have did is I should have set the cameras up, should have got the microphones, we should have sat down, we should have recorded the video, and I should have watched it back and said, I'm going to delete this. Because that way I would have got it out of my system and I would have said whatever I wanted to say, you know? But I wouldn't have like put it out there. And then now I'm like, video's out there. I don't know how many views it's got. I haven't even thought about it yet. It's like, but you know what? I think it's part of being who we are. It's an authentic piece of us.
It's part of your growth.
Yeah. And I was like, you know what? I think too many people have seen it. If I take it down, I think people are gonna be like, oh, why did you? That's kind of, leave it alone. It's in the past, something that happened or whatever. And I'm like, you know what? I'm gonna grow from that. I have the ability to take it down. I've thought about taking it down, but I'm like, I'm not gonna do that, because I want people to see where I was in that moment, and I want people to see where we've come from, and I want people to see that we are normal. I want people to see that the same thoughts that you get, you know, when somebody says something mean to you, like that happens to other people as well. It doesn't matter that we're getting millions. It doesn't matter. Like, we're still people, you know, and people have feelings about certain things, you know, but importantly, you should not focus too much on like the negatives. They're way, way smaller a lot of times than the positives.
I got a negative comment on one of the videos. I don't know if you saw it. The one that I was sneaking out at the window.
Oh yeah.
There was one comment and say, I like him. I think he's funny, but I find her voice so annoying. I'm going to unfollow.
Yeah.
What?
And I just left.
I did the same thing
comment.
though. I was like, she's kind of annoying. You know, I'm going to unfollow, you know.
I did put a comment and I'm like, you know what? I'm going to delete it. I delete my comment, and everybody was going after him, and he deleted his comment. Because they were tagging him after each comment.
Wow.
Which
so
you start
your
to see
followers
like,
took up for you.
Yeah, it's crazy, and like we've developed such a community around like what we've done with these videos. It's like we have so many people that are willing to just so many things. I've had people send me camera equipment to our PO box. Like they had this is the audio interface that we use. It's like I couldn't afford that at the time, and there was a guy who was like, dude, I want to send this to you. I want to send it to you. He's like, because I bought it and had big plans and it didn't work out. He goes, but I know that you can use it, and I know that it's gonna. And I'm like, oh, I never expected people to be as loving and as kind as they are. I kind of gave up on humanity for a while, and I was like, this is like, they're too crazy, But it's interesting. There's so many good people that are still out there, and there's so many people that genuinely want to help, and they genuinely want to like have a positive interaction. You know what I mean? Like with you. Yeah, and then like they like I said, we get a negative comment, they defend us in the comments, and I told Katherine, we got to a point where I was telling Katherine, I was like, we really don't need to defend ourselves anymore in the comments. We don't have to,
right? Because your followers will.
They will.
Okay, so here's what I want to do as we kind of bring this to a close. I want each of you to give yourself advice. Let's say 2 years ago, before you started doing the content. What advice would you give yourself?
Don't give up. That's one of them, I guess.
That's what you would tell yourself?
Yeah.
Don't give up. I think I would tell myself, even though you feel like you're not enough, or even though you feel like you're not good enough to make this work, if you be yourself and you continue to learn and you continue to grow, you'll realize that you were always that person. You were always good enough. You were always, you know what I'm saying? Because I think that when we started, I felt like I wasn't good enough, or I wasn't ever. It was a dream of like, oh man, if we ever got this many views. And I just kept going. And then I realized once we got there, I was like, I didn't change. I'm still the same person. I never got my GED. There's still things like I'm still the same guy. It's like all those things that I felt like were holding me back, that were limiting me, they really weren't. I was limiting myself mentally, And so I would just tell myself, you're good enough now. You're good enough now to get started, because I feel like sometimes we're waiting always for the right opportunity, or the right. Once I get this camera, or once I get, this editing software, or once I finish this, once I get this position at work and at my job, and I get promoted, then I'll have, it's like, you're good enough now.
Yes.
You can make it work right now, I think is what I would probably tell myself, because I had to learn that.
And that's a great point. And so even though you were enough to do it back then, you have grown so much since then. Where literally, if someone needed someone to teach a class on how to create videos that can go viral, you could teach that class, the two of you.
I mean, maybe. I don't know. Yeah, maybe so.
I don't think I would.
Yeah,
you can. I don't know anything about cameras or anything.
Well,
but the video structure.
But you know the whole structure and everything, right? So I guess what I'm trying to say is, let me ask you this. Do you think it's good to get advice from someone to do something that's never done it before?
Right.
That's never done it before? No.
No.
You don't want to get advice from them.
No.
But conversely, you would want to get advice from someone who has done it before.
Yes.
Right.
And so that's what I mean. You can literally teach a course
Yeah.
on this from that standpoint, that this is what we did.
Yeah. And it's funny that you say that. It reminds me of something that happened when we started doing these videos, is that, we got a lot of, in the beginning, we had a lot of like, I wouldn't say negativity, but not a lot of support. When we started doing these videos, friends, family, like, acquaintances, coworkers, like that, they come across your video because everybody has each other's phone number. I think that a lot of times that's usually how they get you, is like, they have your phone number and your contacts are sunk. And so they're like, oh, I saw your video, whatever. And then they'll say stuff like, what are you doing?
Really?
Yeah. And I remember people would say something like, they'd be like, I remember I had a couple of people that I was pretty close to, and like, they would say stuff like, I don't think that this is a good idea. I think like, you're a grown man, you're a father, you're a husband, you're a manager at the company that you work for. You've been there for a long time. Like, what if your boss sees these videos, And I was like, I never thought about that. I was like, aren't you a little old to be cutting up on camera? And
wow.
Yeah. And so like, I remember getting really down on myself about that also, But it's funny that you say like you would only take advice from people that have done it before, right? So in a way, I was taking advice, or I was almost not taking advice, but I was like listening to people who have never been where I want to go.
Right.
I want to go somewhere that you haven't been.
Yeah.
You've never been there before. So since you've never been there before and I want to go there, I'm not going to ask you for advice,
Yeah.
right?
Right.
Like you're being negative. You don't think we can do it. It's like, okay, cool. Maybe we can't, but you know what? You definitely haven't been there. So I
Right.
don't know why I'm listening so much. And I had that like clicked at some point. It took
Okay.
a while, but I remember the negative comments and people would say stuff. It's like, I would get so depressed and so like bummed out about it. Like, why, man? It just, and then eventually me and Catherine just realized like, we're all we need.
Yeah.
We're our own
Yeah.
team. We're our own team. We're doing this. And what's funny is that now those same people that were so negative is like, I knew you could do it.
Yeah.
You guys are doing so great, And I'm like,
Now
get out of
that-
here. You didn't know we could do it. Like you were being,
Not only that, like I lost some couple of friends too.
We had a
It's
bunch of friends that like just
we-
stopped. They were
I
like,
gotta change the battery 1 second
okay.
to give inspiration.
I've been thinking about doing like videos like that, like kind of like educational stuff or whatever. I just
Yeah.
don't know how it would, because like, and I'll talk to you more about it afterwards. But like with YouTube or whatever, and I'll ask you get some advice because you've
Yeah.
cracked YouTube for sure. But
Well, what I want to do, and I'm recording again. What I'd love to do with you guys is we can kind of trade secrets a little bit. Like you can help
Absolutely.
me
absolutely,
with my Instagram and TikTok. 'Cause I know you
Absolutely.
can probably see some stuff I can work on, and then I can help you guys on the YouTube side.
100%.
On the YouTube side, I haven't figured out the long form content yet.
I think you're doing great. You're doing good. I've seen you're doing pretty good, man. You're
Thank
doing great.
you.
You got 2 plaques. That's not easy to get, Doing
Well,
good.
but the shorts I've kind of gotten a little bit. I got my groove on the shorts. I still need to get better though. But like to your point earlier, when you said about the 5-to-1, that was very interesting because
Mhm.
there's some videos I have, like 1 or 2, that's like 1-to-1.
Yeah.
I was like, whoa.
Yes.
And like a dummy, I haven't like tried to replicate those same exact. I need to
Right.
do that.
Yeah.
Mhm.
I've got some other ones where they've gotten more views,
Yeah.
but they didn't get as many likes.
Right.
Sure. And
So-
YouTube is different. I'll notice that I'll have videos that do millions on Instagram and Facebook, and on YouTube, the same video, it'll do good for my, for my my pool or whatever. But the view to like ratio is way different on YouTube to me. Like the views are way, way, way higher than the like ratio. Now I've never had anything that go viral on YouTube ever.
Okay.
Okay. But I've had a lot of videos go viral on Instagram and Facebook or whatever and TikTok. And so that's where I've learned that view to like ratio. But it seems like YouTube's a little bit different. That's why I want to try to we'll figure something out.
Yeah.
But you were saying we had a bunch of friends
Oh,
that
yeah.
left.
I had some friends, and he was telling them, was like, yeah, we're thinking about like making skits, videos, and stuff. And she's like, oh, that's so cringy, and she starts laughing and
Yeah.
whatnot. And then like how he did, I got depressed. It's like, man,
Mm.
Man.
my best friend is actually telling me, it's like,
Yeah.
that's gonna be cringy. That's not gonna be funny.
Right.
You're a mom, like why?
You're too
And-
old to be doing stuff like,
Yeah.
it's like, oh.
And then now that we're doing better, she actually messaged me. It's like,
Haven't talked to us in like 2
"Hey."
years.
Yeah. Hey, I haven't
You know?
talked to you. Do you want to grab a coffee? Because all that started because my good friend that I'm going to meet later on,
Right.
I got recognized just by with being
We were
with my
just
friend.
out doing stuff. Yeah.
It was just me and her
Yeah.
at Bath and
Oh,
Body
wow.
Works, and I got recognized. She was like, "Can we take pictures?" So I took a picture and I posted on my story. Since then, she messaged me. It's like, "Hey, we haven't talked for a while. Do you want to go and grab a
Oh, my
coffee and
goodness.
catch up?" I'm like, "Sorry, I can't. I'm busy."
It's interesting though because it's like the people that were negative in the beginning,
Mm.
they always come back around. Always come back around. And so
Mm.
what I've learned from that, because we were talking about like what advice and everything, right? It was like what I've learned from that is, for one, don't take advice from people who have never been where you want to go,
Mhm.
right? And then also, if they were negative, they weren't supporting you in the beginning, and they come back around, I'm not a jerk. I communicate with people and stuff like that, but it's like, I really look at you a little differently because it's like, I get it. This is something that's odd. This is not the normal. I'm not working a 9 to 9. I mean, I
Right.
work a 9 to 5, but it's like, I'm not working a 9 to 5 like the traditional person or whatever. I'm not getting promoted and getting a better position like how the average person is. But like, we're doing this thing that's getting really successful, and you didn't see the potential. I did.
Right.
And now the potential has presented itself. It's been proven. Now it's, oh man, I'm so happy. I knew you could do it, right? And
Yeah.
in the beginning, I literally would tell every single person about it, and I recommend that people do that. And I knew that for myself, I wouldn't hold myself accountable because I've started so many different things, and I would always start. I get so excited and I wouldn't finish it. Super ADHD, right? Like I get like this
Mhm.
one track brain on the exciting idea, and then like I give up on it. I would tell everybody, every single one of my coworkers knew about it. Everybody in my family knew about it. All of my friends knew about it. The mailman was, and I'm not even joking. The mailman's delivering delivering a package, and
Mhm.
I'm like, hey man, I was like, I'm doing these videos, and this is the thing. And he's like, okay, like, what do you? Cool, man. And I'm like, okay, and I was doing that because in my head I was like, everything that I've ever started, I've always failed, right? And so if I start something and I fail, but nobody knows about it, it's not really that big a deal, right? But if I start something and I've told every single person that I ever
Oh, wow,
know,
that's powerful.
you know what I mean? If I
Yeah,
tell
it
every
commits you.
single person that I know, it's like the failure is going to be so much bigger,
Yeah.
And I was like, that's how I'm going to keep myself accountable. I'm going to hold, and maybe not everybody can do that, but I
Mm.
was like, I'm going to hold myself accountable somehow,
That's interesting.
you
That
know?
was that. So that it ended up being even that much more of a motivator for
Yeah,
you.
because I was like, people have like, I remember a couple of people were like, I would tell them about, because I was telling everybody, and I would tell them about the videos, or I was excited about it, tell them about the videos, like, we're doing these videos, like, oh yeah, okay, cool. He's like, well, we'll see, You started up that
Mm.
pressure washer business that you did, and
Interesting.
it just didn't work out that good. Remember that
And
towel business that you had? It just really didn't. I was like, so we'll see. And then I remember thinking like, they're right. I would
yeah,
get mad a little bit, and
yeah.
but then I'd be like, they're right. Actually, like I've started so many businesses. You know, I'm about to be 30, and it's like I've had probably around 10 or 12 quote unquote businesses.
Mm-hmm, mm-hmm.
Every single, I'm not doing none of those. I've failed at every single one of those, but I knew that I'm not going to work for somebody for the rest of my life. I'm just not going to do it.
Right.
I don't want, and it's not that I don't I love my job. I love my boss. I love the company that I work for. Not about that. It's like, I'm never going to be able to achieve the goals that we have, of like simple things like owning a house where I'm at. It's just not going to happen. My education is too limited. There's
Mm.
no, I'm at the highest point that I can get to at the company. You know what I'm saying? Like, where else can I go from here? And I'm thinking, I could go to another company. I can go to, I can go back to school, maybe finish my GED and go to college. It's like, that's more money. That's more time. What can I do that's right now that I can just give? I told myself, I was like,
It's right here.
most businesses, they don't make money for 5 years, right? So it's like,
Right.
what can I do? And I'll just give it 2 years. I'll give half the time. Like, we're gonna do in 2 years. And if I don't make any money in 2 years, like, I will just say, okay, we'll try something else, But I'm never gonna stop. I'm gonna always try to do something better.
What would you say is your number one skill? Because I already have in my head what your number one skill is. But you tell me, what would you say is your number one skill is?
My number one skill?
Yes.
I don't think that I'm good at many things, honestly. I don't give up. I don't.
Okay.
I think I don't know if it's a skill or not, but when somebody tells me you can't do that, or
Mm-hmm.
how do you know, or whatever, it's like that. Like, I may say, yeah, I don't know how to do that, or I don't know how to do that yet, or I've never done that right now, but I'm gonna find out a way to figure it out. I
Well,
think that's something that I could say is, I'll give myself that. Like, I won't stop. I'm gonna keep going.
that's a great quality. That's like a determination.
Mm-hmm.
You're willing to go see something to its finish. That's great.
Yeah.
What would you say is your biggest skill?
Biggest skill? I think the same. I've not given up. I like what I like to tell them. Like, I want to prove people wrong that I can do it.
Okay.
I want to. It's like how my friends used to be like, "Ha, you're not gonna do it. That's so cringy." I'm like,
Right.
I'll prove you wrong.
Yeah.
I'll prove you wrong. I'm not gonna give up what I'm gonna do, and I'm gonna show you that I can do it best.
And I was trying to prove it to myself too, because like I
Okay.
said, my track record has always been like, I knew who I was. I knew that I would start things and not finish. And so I'm like, what is finishing when you're starting social media? Like, what is the, like, what I'm saying? Like,
Right.
when you start school, finishing is graduating, right?
Mhm.
When you start a project, finishing is having, like, the car start up in the driveway and you
Right.
drive, it's like, but what is finishing, right? It's like, I learned to realize there is no finish line in this
Right,
business.
Right. Exactly.
There's no finish line. So it's like, as long as I'm still moving in the right direction, I'm already
awesome.
successful. You know what I mean? So, before we made $1 on merch or, monetization or like that, the determination, the spirit that we had to, like, just keep going, that was already there. So that's something that I think that needs to, like, be developed before
Right.
you decide, because this is something that nobody teaches you how to do social media.
Right. Right.
Everybody has videos on like, this is what you do. Post at this time and all your videos are gonna go viral, you know? Or it's like, use these hashtags. It's like, we don't even use hashtags.
Mhm.
That's interesting, right? But
That is
I've heard this.
interesting.
People like, don't use this hashtag, use hashtag FYP, and your video's gonna go viral, right? We haven't used a hashtag in like, I don't know, almost a year or so.
Right,
Not even
right.
one hashtag. Sometimes I put like 2 words for the title of the video, because most of these platforms are not reading platforms; they're visual platforms. So what is the words or the hashtag? You know what I'm saying? And the thing about the hashtags, and I know we have to probably close it out here, but the thing about the hashtags people don't understand, and I've come to realize, is that this is a theory of mine.
Mhm.
If you put hashtags underneath your video, I think what you're actually doing is you're directing the algorithm where you want your video to go. I think that's what hashtags do. I think that hashtags, personally, I think that hashtags limit your reach because you're giving instructions to the platform. Like, hey,
Okay.
I want my video to go to comedy lovers, funny videos. I want them to go to hashtag, and so the algorithm's like, okay, cool. There you go. That's who's gonna see this video. The people who typically go to these, that click on these,
Right.
the algorithm knows where the video needs to go way more than you do. So I realized, like, if I just don't put hashtags, if I just leave that junk alone, we might have better success.
That's smart.
And we
That's a smart
did.
play.
And then there's a lot. We could go on for 5 hours, honestly, but like, there's so many different things that I think that could help people get to the goal of wanting, to be successful in social media. But I think if I had to condense it down, I would say, make your videos, no matter what it is, if it's comedy or informational, whatever, give the most relatable take, the most, enjoy. If it's comedy, relatable, whatever. If it's informational, give them something that they've never heard before. Give them something that's,
Right.
when I tell people sometimes, your audience is paying you to watch your video. And like, no, they're not. Instagram is free. TikTok is free. It's like, they're paying attention. They're
Exactly.
paying attention. You break
Yeah.
it down. Like, so what are they getting for their payment? They need to get something.
Right.
They've paid. So
Right.
so I'm like, we're gonna try our hardest to give them, entertainment. We're gonna
Yeah.
try and give them laughter. We're gonna try to give them joy. We're gonna try to give them authenticity. Those are the things we're gonna try to give them. If you're doing, you know a lot about cameras, and I come to you a lot of times for advice, but what is the advice that you're gonna give? You're gonna give them information. You're gonna give them nuggets of things that never, like, you're gonna give them the tips and tricks that people have never,
Right.
you're gonna give them their attention that they have paid you is not gonna go, it's not gonna go for nothing. It's not gonna be paid for nothing. They're gonna get something out of it. So you give them 3 seconds. You got to hook them in really quickly. You hook them in with your first 3 seconds. You hold them as long as you can, because now they're paying attention. You've hooked them in the first 3
Right.
seconds. Now they're paying attention. Now you need to give them something for free, because they've already paid you. Not
Right.
really for free. They've already paid you.
Yeah,
But you give
so
them
it's an
joy.
exchange.
It's an exchange. You give them joy, information, whatever. You want them to feel something.
How long is your average video?
Around 2 minutes, 30 seconds, I think.
Okay. So this is my number one skill I think you have. Is you have the ability to get people to pay attention for around 2 minutes and 30 seconds.
Yeah.
And that is a valuable thing that companies will pay millions and millions and billions of dollars for. So you've acquired a skill that not everybody has. Very few people have this skill. If you look at the overall percentage of people,
Mhm.
to get someone else to pay attention to them online for 2 minutes, 2.5 minutes,
Mm-hmm.
that's huge.
Yeah.
And you learned that in the past 2 years.
Mm-hmm.
That's pretty awesome.
Yeah. 'Cause
Yeah.
I think every video that we do is like we have to like catch people's attention like quick. Not
Quick.
minutes, seconds.
There's a couple. I'll give a couple of nuggets away for free right now on the thing. A hook it's psychology. I'm learning this too. It's like videos are just psychology. You have to learn human psychology to hook somebody into a video. It's super competitive. There's endless videos that somebody can scroll to. It's nothing personal. Your video just didn't work, so I'm gonna go on the next one. It's not like they hate you. It's just, your video's not good. I'm gonna go to the next one. And so you have to understand psychology a little bit. What can you do in the first 3? Like, you're thinking, remember Vine back in the day was 6-second long videos? Remember those videos on Vine? No? So the platform back in the day it was Vine. It was before like Instagram Reels and YouTube Shorts or whatever like that. But it was 6 seconds.
Wow.
That's all you had. You had 6 seconds. And I remember thinking it's just so challenging to like come up with something that's gonna be captivating in 6 seconds. How do you like? Where's your story coming from? Like, people's attention spans are so short. You have to come up with something quick. So a free nugget that I'll give to everybody right now is I use it a lot. I open a door. I walk into a room.
I've noticed that.
That is a hook. Walking into a room is a hook. Why? Because without you even realizing it or thinking it, your brain is your subconscious is immediately going, why did he come in here? Why did he come into this room? What's about to happen? Right? Your subconscious is like, I do the same thing with the curtain. I have this curtain hanging here, right, in the studio. So like I'll do the same thing with the door. I'll come in and open the curtain. That's a hook. Because your brain immediately goes to what's about to happen. Right? If your hook is, hey guys, so today I'm gonna be, it's like not a good hook. You lost them. You got to do something that's going to grab their attention quickly. You know what I mean?
That's a good one.
Yeah, I'm telling you, I'll give it to you guys because it's like that's one thing that nobody taught me. I learned it because I'm watching other creators and I'm obsessed about this stuff. I'm like, man, a bunch of different videos and there's so many other different hooks that you can use. Another hook that we did the other day was we did a video where we were underneath the sink and she's holding a flashlight.
Mm-hmm.
Right.
I think I saw that one. Yeah.
Right. And she's holding, and so it's first of all, it's a relatable concept. Your dad asking you to hold the flashlights. That's relatable for one, but then you still need a good hook to hold them in. Right. And that video did really good. We posted that one like 2 days ago. It's at like 2.4, 2.5 or something like that million views. Right. It's doing really great. That hook for that video it's audible. It's sound. Right. You can still see what's going on. You see her with the flashlight. You see me underneath the sink and I'm like this. I got the glasses on and but you hear the tools. And you hear the frustration.
Right,
you hear the tools and the frustration. Now people on the other side of the camera, they're thinking, "Ooh, what's about to happen?" You want basically what you want for your hook is you want people to have a curious, they need to have curiosity about what they're about to see next. That's it. That's all it is. And there's a million different hooks that you can use, but a really, really easy one that you can start right now is before you start your video, is walk into the room where you're going to do your video.
I like that.
You could do that.
I'm gonna try it.
Another hook that people do a lot of times is that when they record on their phone, is they hit record when the phone is like this. They hit record and then they pick it up. There's camera moving. There's something happening, and they're involved with this. It's psychology. It's like what's about to happen. Why is this moving? Why is it? And you have 3 seconds. You got to say something, do something super interesting. You have to connect with the audience in the first 3 seconds. That's your most important thing. And then afterwards, you have to make your video relatable. And then as you're making it relatable and you've hooked them and they're watching, they're paying you with their attention. You need to give them something. There has to be a payoff. And the payoff is what gives people to start following you, to comment, to share your video or whatever, because now they have paid and it's well worth it. Right. And then their repayment is, I'm going to follow this guy. He's good. Oh man, she's so funny. His video, I love that he says this, whatever, right? I'm going to share this with and that's your repayment. So you win at the end of the day, but you have to learn the psychology of the videos. Yeah.
So you're on your way to doing your course, man.
Yeah. Maybe so.
This has been a great payoff for me. So thank you. I mean, driving out here was more than worth it. Okay. And you guys were so patient with my equipment. So thank you for that too.
It was great. I enjoyed it.
I want to do this again.
Absolutely. Let's do it again.
Okay. There's more we could talk about.
100%.
Yeah, there's a lot.
So
I told you we could do Joe Rogan. We could do 4 hours if you want, man. We just got to get some memory cards in the cameras,
Yeah, absolutely. So next time I'll make sure and bring my my power adapter.
Yeah,
Okay.
for
I
sure.
don't have to worry about batteries.
Yeah.
But this is amazing. Your setup here.
Yeah,
this
thank you.
is awesome.
Thank you so much.
Keep up the great work.
This was a garage.
Yeah.
Man, this is amazing.
Yeah, we just turned it. I had a motorcycle in here and some bunch of trash. We just turned it. We were like, let's turn this into something cool that we can use.
Beautiful. Beyond. You showed me pictures, but it's beyond my expectations. So
thank you so much. Appreciate that.
Thanks again, guys. Keep up the great work. And
thank you for having. I mean, I know you're here with us, but thank you for having us on your platform and talking with us. I really enjoyed it.
My pleasure. My pleasure. And those of you who are watching, be sure and follow these guys. Skits and Giggles, aka Skits and Giggles. That we'll have it tagged and below to your YouTube channel as well as your Instagram and your TikTok.
And what's your handle? Because I'm gonna put clips up.
Rollis on video.
Rollis on video. Make sure to follow Rollis on video too.
That's on YouTube.
Yeah, on YouTube.
On TikTok, I think it's Rollis Fontenot. I think it's TikTok.
We'll add all the links at the bottom.
Okay.
Make sure that this guy's great.
All right. Well, thanks, guys. Appreciate you
Thank you
both.
so much,
So
Rollis.
proud of
Appreciate it.
you. Thanks.